family? Just wanted to put this out. I know I put a video out this morning, but one thing that's been always near and dear to my heart was the fact that the state of families, especially in regards to relationships, in regards to your children, if you're with the parent, if you're co-parenting, if you are in a dysfunctional relationship, or just the impact of the child's development. For some of you who have been on my channel, you know my story in regards to how trying it was in regards to my daughter, how that impact was, and how that impacted my future relationships, as well as wanting to have children. And you know, on the financial side of the house, I'm on the other side in regards to supporting my daughter, my firstborn, my heart. And I've always been there monetarily in regards to benefits and financial responsibility. However, that is only one aspect of being a parent. And the one thing that I've come to learn is to not have a bias, but always try to look for an understanding on parenting. And I realize that nowadays, from a social standpoint, there are those people that don't want you to be active in your children's life or your child's life, and they're monetarily making money. Look at, today's TV. You've got Maury, you've got paternity court, you got divorce court, you got all these courts, but where's the guidance in it? It's always reactionary. It's never proactive. And that was one of the things that kept me motivated, kept me optimistic, because the fact that one day these children are going to be parents, and whatever work had not been done will end up being their obstacles later on, until they're able to have the courage to seek the truth. But what is truth if you don't have an understanding of who you are? And a lot of people don't understand that just as it takes two to create the greatest gift ever, which is life, there's still a responsibility, even if you are not evident in that child's development. I say that for a couple reasons. Number one, when you look at the social narrative, it's quite dysfunctional, right? We can agree to that. It is easy for us to point the finger than find a solution. And then there's the other side, where you have people that pretty much had to figure it out on their own, and they've trudged through it. Some get to a place where they're able to take accountability and set the example so it doesn't repeat itself. And then you have some that will always run because that is all they know. But you know what? The work still has to be done, family. It still has to be done. It still has to be done, excuse me. It is cold as hell out here, excuse me. I'm layered to the teeth and you're ready to start my day, but it's cold. But what is cold is truth. And the one thing that I see that's always played out, you always see the young girl, and she has a family, but then the elders are not there. The direct link is not there. There's dysfunction eventually from the mom side or the dad side in one way or another. But if we got so much energy to point the fingers, why don't we have the energy to speak the truth? I mean, think about it. Your child is a representation of what you've done or what you refuse to look at or acknowledge. And let me grab my coffee. Yeah, you know I got my coffee. I also believe that God is ultimate comedian too, because God will do this. What we are afraid of will end up being the reminder for the rest of our days. And you see this in the dynamic of that child, because that child looks like the other parent or acts like that other parent. And some people will have this position of, well, you know, I've moved on. I got a new life, a new relationship, and they think that that is all that's needed. No, that's not what's needed. What's needed is for you to be the parent that you may not have had. But guess what? Let me not be rude. As long as you let it sit, it cannot heal. As long as you refuse to acknowledge what is present, even at its rough stage, you still got a foundation to build off of. And I don't get it. You know, I have echoed countless times. 2018 is going to be your year of truth, family. You can't run from your truth. Maybe your truth is walking around you, looking at your examples, or taking note on the things that you refuse to do. You know that's nothing but fear, right? But you're doing a disservice if you refuse to do nothing. That's for somebody. King, stop trying to call yourself a man by the amount of seed that you got on this earth. You'd be surprised how powerful a hello can be. Because the one thing is true. You are not going to live forever. And the work that you don't do are going to be the building blocks that they're going to have to carry. Just like the people that came before you. Now, I'm sharing this because I don't have a relationship with my daughter. I don't. Do I want this? Hell no. Ever since she took her first breath, I've always been there, financially and unconditionally, emotionally. And I'm going to continue to do that because that's what her dad does. Granted, not having a child, there are great dads out there that don't have children, but step in and give love and support. Maybe that's her. You know that you have a seed on this planet and you don't do anything about it to make sure that he or she is provided for. Don't complain. You might as well have been part of the problem. And that's what usually plays out. Because guess what? Until they are able to feel emotionally safe, they're going to be out there in them streets. They're going to be preyed upon. And unfortunately, there might be somebody with the same mentality that you had, just to wait to say. Parents, we need to do better. it's never too late. Get back in your children's lives. Put your pride to the side. Let the love be revealed. It is about being real. It is about your legacy. And maybe that's the reason why your life is playing out the way that it is. The one thing, God is so magnificent that he will use anything he has to get your attention. And one thing that I realized, see, I didn't really have a relationship. I didn't have a relationship with my father. I know him. There's been communication through the years. But there was a lot of pain there. There was a lot of things I didn't understand why. But God protected me. And I navigated through life, and I've been blessed to be on this planet over 40-something years. But the one thing that I realized New Year's Eve, as I shared with somebody, he put on my spirit, if I wanted the connection with my daughter, his granddaughter, I have to reestablish the connection with him. So what did I do? I picked the phone up. I left a message on his voicemail. Now, once you do that, that's on them. That's on them. But just keep in mind, you got a whole lot of life, a whole lot of work that you still have to do. Because guess what? One day you're not going to be around. And you leaving your story to be told by those who will live on. So kings, queens, stop being stubborn. Take care of your babies. Because if you don't, the streets are going to take advantage of them. Why do you think there's so many drug addicts out here? Why do you think there's so many people being trafficked? But they don't talk about that. And why do you think there's so many people murdered? It's because if those people remotely thought that somebody gave a damn about them, the probability of them putting themselves in harm's way or making a choice that was not in their best interest would be diminished. I know this is for somebody because your heart has been hurting, and you know it's because you don't have your connection with your, or something may have happened that you feel that, who am I to try to do something different because of choices you made? As long as you live, you have an opportunity to change it around. That's what forgiveness is all about. But you can't get anything that you need until you decide to love you, invest in who you are, because that's what defines being a woman and a man is all about. That's not, you can't find that in the store. You can't sleep your way around thinking that's going to hide your pain. And guess what? The people that you're sleeping with secretly don't give a damn about your problems. That's why they there, to run from theirs. Don't be the statistic. Be the experience. Love yourself. Stay prayed up and place God first. And watch what he shows you. Be blessed, family. You're priceless.